"Hold it right there, sir. You don't belong in this place." The sentence split the silent street like a whip's crack. Sharp fingers raised in accusation. A woman dressed in a tailored white gown sneered, her tone bouncing off the iron gates of a mansion that, to her ignorance, was fully owned by the man she scorned. 3 guards in uniform flank her, one already unclipping his handcuffs as though justice meant nothing more than public humiliation. Before the moment continues, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments. And if dignity and justice matter to you, hit like and subscribe. These stories ignite change, and we are glad you're here. Now, back to him. The man remained silent, broad-shouldered, calm, clothed not in designer suits, but in a grey tank top stamped with one word across the chest: humanity. His hands were linked before him, fingers steady as stone. He didn't argue. He didn't beg. He waited. The guards misread patience as defiance. One smirked. Another chuckled openly, shaking his head. The third leaned in, voice low but cutting. "Men like you don't get past these gates. Think money put you here? Think again." The woman clicked forward, her heels striking like a metronome of arrogance. She thrust her finger inches from his face. "This is private property. Cry all you want. You're not coming in. Call backup now." A keypad light flickered red above the gate. Quietly, the system scanned. No one noticed. What they noticed instead was his silence, and mistook it for weakness. But it wasn't. He had lived this scene before. At 23, when a landlord refused him the keys to the apartment he had already purchased. At 30, when a valet tossed him the wrong car keys, sure he was only hired help. And now, again. New faces, same contempt. The air thickened. A small crowd gathered on the sidewalk. A teenager raised his phone, whispering, "I'm streaming this." The woman snapped, ordering security to detain the boy as well. She grasped for control, but it was already slipping away. He lifted his eyes at last, calm, sharp enough to slice. "You're certain I don't belong here?" The guards laughed. The cuffs gleamed in one man's hand. But the gate behind them hummed low, mechanical, undeniable. A screen blinked red, then green. Owner profile recognized. Still, no one moved. The green glow lingered like a verdict. The guards didn't retreat. One scoffed. "System glitch. Happens all the time." His grip stayed near the cuffs. The woman crossed her arms, heels biting pavement. "This proves nothing. Real owners don't show up in gym clothes." He didn't reply. He adjusted the strap of the plain leather case on his shoulder. No brand, no luxury, just clean, practical. Calm radiated from him like armor. Then, the system chimed again. A smooth voice echoed from the speaker above the gate. "Welcome home, Mr. Carter." The words froze the street. The teenager gasped aloud, his phone capturing everything. Even the guards exchanged uneasy glances. But the woman lashed back, desperate. Anyone could hack that. "He doesn't belong here." Her shriek carried down the cul-de-sac. Neighbors leaned from windows. A silver SUV slowed to watch. The teenager whispered into his live stream, "You'll heard it, right?" It literally welcomed him by name. Comments scrolled too fast to read. Mr. Carter didn't flinch. He had been written off too many times, dismissed as not a client, not the buyer, not the owner. And tonight, at his own gates, the story repeated again. One guard stepped forward, jaw tight. "Sir, protocol requires verification. A voice box doesn't cut it." His eyes flicked to the keypad. On cue, the cameras above shifted, their lenses locking not on Carter, but on the guards. Another chime. Unauthorized personnel detected. Access suspended. The guards stiffened. One gripped his badge. The red light flickered, then went dark. Another tugged his earpiece. Only static answered. The system had turned against them. The crowd stirred. Did it just lock them out? Someone whispered. The woman's face flushed red. She jabbed her finger again, her voice cracking. "This isn't real. He's tricking you." Carter's voice cut through, calm but firm. "I didn't do a thing. This house knows who belongs here, and who doesn't." The driveway air grew heavier, as if the mansion itself was preparing to deliver judgment. The alarms pulsed once, then fell silent, leaving the driveway glowing like a stage. Carter stood motionless in the white light, his frame steady, his eyes fixed on the guards who had seconds earlier tried to treat him like a trespasser. He didn't flinch. He didn't speak. His silence slashed sharper than any retort. The tallest guard cleared his throat, trying to salvage control. "Sir, you're escalating this." But his voice wavered on escalating. Like even he knew the word didn't fit. Carter hadn't moved. The woman in white pounced on the pause. "See? He's dangerous. standing there like he owns the place. Her laugh rang brittle, pitched too high. This is intimidation. The neighbors weren't convinced. A man leaning on his car muttered, "Intimidation? He hasn't said a word." The teenager whispered into his phone, "Bro's literally just standing still. They are unraveling." Carter's silence grew heavier by the second. He breathed slowly, deliberately, anchoring the air around him. The atmosphere shifted. No longer their command, no longer her accusations. It bent toward him. The younger guard snapped, frustration breaking. "Say something. Where's your proof?" He lunged forward, waving his dead badge like it still meant authority. Carter didn't move. His stillness forced the guard to falter mid-step, momentum collapsing into shame. A memory flickered across Carter's mind. 19 years old, accused of shoplifting while buying his mother's birthday gift. He had stood the same way back then, silent, unbroken, dignity his only shield. The woman's patience cracked. "Security, why are you hesitating? Restrain him." But her voice trembled, the word restrain splitting under the weight of fear. Carter finally raised his head, not to speak, but to meet the nearest camera. The lens zoomed in with precision. The system chimed again. Identity confirmed. Full access maintained. The crowd buzzed louder. Phones lifted higher. The narrative was flipping in real time. Carter still hadn't said a word, because sometimes silence is the loudest verdict. The crowd was swelling now. Neighbors stepping out, drivers slowing, phones rising like torches. Carter's silence had become a question hung heavy over the street. The teenager's stream ticked past 5,000 viewers. They tried to cuff him, but the system said he's the owner. "You're all seeing this." Comments flooded in. Classic profiling. "Let him in. Justice live." A woman in a red blouse stepped forward from the crowd, her voice, soft but steady. "I've lived across from this house for 8 years. That's Mr. Carter. He's lived here longer than half of you." The tallest guard blinked. The woman in white spun on her, furious. "You don't know what you're talking about." But the neighbor raised her phone higher. "I know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm recording everything." Another voice joined in. "A man by the silver SUV. She's right. I've seen him jogging, seen him at the mailbox. This is his house. Why are you treating him like a stranger?" The guards froze. Carter still hadn't moved, but his silence had given others their voice. From the back of the crowd, someone shouted, "This is discrimination." The words caught fire. Others echoed in agreement. The live stream surged. Viewers spammed the chat. "Expose them. Full clip. He owns them all." The woman in white snapped, voice cracking, "Stop filming. You don't understand. He's trespassing." But her words rang hollow now. Carter finally spoke, low but firm. "Use your words, not just your cameras." The teenager lowered his phone slightly. "You mean, speak up." Carter nodded once. The woman in red stepped closer, louder this time. "You don't get to erase him. Not again." The driveway became a courtroom, the crowd became witnesses, and Carter stood at its center, silent, unshaken. The woman in white tried one last strike. "This neighborhood was built for safety. People like you threaten that safety. Dressed like that, walking like you own the place. You're a thief trying to look important." Gasps rippled. Even one guard muttered, "That's too far." Carter didn't react. His silence reflected her venom back at her. The younger guard raised his chin, clinging to procedure. "Sir, without proof this is trespassing. That's the law." He pressed his radio static. The crowd caught it instantly. "Even your radio knows who owns this place," someone shouted. Laughter cracked through the tension. The woman flushed red. "Go back to wherever you came from. You don't belong here." Her words landed heavy, like an eraser on his existence. Carter lifted his head slowly. "You keep saying I don't belong. Ask yourself, why do you?" The live stream exploded. The guards no longer looked like protectors. They looked like men caught on the wrong side of history. The younger guard snapped, patience breaking. "That's it. You're under detention for trespassing." He grabbed Carter's arm hard, shoving him back a step. Gasps tore through the crowd. The teenager shouted into his phone, "They're laying hands on the owner again." The tallest guard stepped in, fumbling for the cuffs. "Don't resist. This'll be quick," he muttered, his voice trembling. The woman in white beamed with cruel triumph. "Yes. Get him out. People like him only take what isn't theirs." Her words sliced through the crowd, but the system answered louder. The gate lights blazed. Alarms pulsed 3 sharp tones. A colder, heavier voice rang out. "Warning. Use of force against the property owner will trigger escalation protocol. The guards froze, the cuff in one man's hand jammed, refusing to close. Phones caught everything. The alarm, the warning, the failed cuffs. The live stream rocketed past 20,000. Then 30. The guard cursed. Damn equipment. But the crowd already knew. That's no glitch. The house is protecting him. The woman screamed. Her mask cracked. He hacked it. He's a criminal. But her voice shook, desperate. Carter's voice rose, steady, resonant. You called me a thief at the gates of the mansion I built. Every word, every action, you've only proven who doesn't belong here. The crowd erupted. Some gasped, others cheered. Authority fractured in real time. The cuffs slipped from Carter's wrist, clattering useless. The guard stared like betrayed by his own tools. Carter exhaled slowly, deliberate, then pulled his phone from his pocket. He tapped once, lifted it to his ear. Nia, activate Westgate Protocol. A crisp female voice answered immediately, understood. System override engaged. Visual feed syncing now. Above the gate, cameras rotated sharply, locking onto the guards. Their radios hissed, then cut to silence. The tallest guard pressed his earpiece. Dispatch, do you copy? Nothing. The crowd gasped as the panel on the gate lit up. Green text scrolled across. Employee names, IDs, clearance levels, one by one. The guards' names blinked red. Access revoked. The younger guard stumbled back. No. This isn't possible. His badge buzzed once, then went dead. The crowd roared, phones zooming in, voices shouting. They're locked out. He shut them down. The woman in white stepped forward, panic sharp in her tone. Stop this. You're bluffing. Carter's tone was calm, immovable. I don't bluff with what's mine. The system voice followed, cold and final. Security clearance terminated. Awaiting owner authorization for personnel removal. 30 phones caught it, live. The stream ticked past 50,000. One guard slammed his badge against the reader. Red buzz, then no longer valid. The crowd erupted, some clapping, some laughing in disbelief. He just fired the whole team on the spot, someone shouted. The woman's voice broke, trembling. You can't do this. You don't have the power. Carter turned to her, steady as stone. You mistook silence for weakness. That was your last mistake. The alarm ceased. The gate swung open, slow, deliberate, like a curtain lifting, and for the first time all night, it was undeniable. He wasn't the intruder.